Hello and welcome to Let Me Be Your Game Guide, a podcast that spends each episode delving into a mystical new video game, exploring its charms and challenges, and helping you decide if it should be next on your list. I'm your host, Emma.
This is Rylan.
And this is Shawn.
Join us for this week's discussion episode as we escape reality and enter the metaphysical. For the remainder of this episode, let me be your game guide. Really good, you guys.
That was really good.
We're experts.
No yawns.
Yeah.
No. I don't know what else was happening.
Brain farts.
No.
No stroke symptoms.
Yeah. That's what I was feeling for a second. So.
Oh man.
I was giggling throughout that, but that's not that uncommon.
No.
Yeah.
I've learned to put blinders on and not pay attention to you guys when I'm reading, because sometimes it's like you guys are looking at each other having a private conversation in your heads.
With our eyes, yeah.
I don't know what's
that
going
happens
on.
often.
I was thinking about since I just last night went back and started listening into our very first episode, which, you guys, is not as bad as I expected it to be.
Doesn't mean you have to go back and listen.
It's
to
not
it, though.
great.
You don't
but
have to go back and listen to it.
Anyway.
If you haven't yet.
But I was thinking about some of our outros after the fact, and now I just want to go back and listen to some of those.
Oh yeah, when did I start doing those?
I think from the get-go.
I don't think I didn't do it on the first one.
I'm just thinking of the one with Borky Big. Oh my god.
Yeah,
I'd laugh
Porky
every
Pig.
time.
So funny.
I remember walking the dog and just replaying that over and over again, and just probably looking really silly to people driving by because I was grinning big and laughing out loud.
Yeah.
Yep.
What was the episode that you accidentally played in 0.5 speed?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. We're gonna spoil it. That was Shawn.
We'll have to get like a recording of that and clip that. I'll put that in a random tag.
You should just put that in these episodes, on the spoiler
That was just a
episodes,
little
discussion
while
ones.
ago, wasn't
You
it?
could just put it in at the beginning. Every
You're
time.
gonna spoil it.
Oh my
There you go. There you go. It's there for you.
Thank you.
Oh,
Love
man.
that.
Well, we got on a little bit of a tangent, but welcome.
Welcome.
to the podcast. Or welcome to the podcast if this is your first time. This is actually technically a part 2 episode.
Dose.
Yeah, we
Yep.
last week we talked about the Plucky Squire. We did a critical review.
Very critical.
Indeed.
Very serious until we give our final reviews, and then it's not as critical, but the rest of it's pretty critical. But this episode, we're discussing the Plucky Squire in detail. So if you don't want spoilers, this probably isn't the best episode to start on, but it's going to be a good time. We're going to
get to the bottom of it.
We are.
Yeah, I think we have things to talk about.
Uh-huh.
We do.
Certainly. So yeah, and if you have forgotten, let's just do reminders of what our final rating for these games were. Sorry, this is a new thing that I just thought of right now, and Rylan's upset about it.
Well, I mean, I gave my final rating last week, and I've just been sitting on it. And I'm like, I don't know if that's true or not.
Well,
I never know if it's true or not, everybody. That's my secret.
that's what our
Yeah.
New Year's episode at the end of the year is for, if you want to change your rating.
It's there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'll probably have to use it on something else.
Oh, but you're gonna have to wait all year though.
I know. I'm probably going to forget how I feel about it by then.
Well, I'll try and remind you, but I gave this a 4.8.
4.1 for me.
Do you guys remember what I said? Was it a
3.2.
3.2?
I think.
3.2.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, this is my bad. Listeners, this is my bad. I did not prep them at all to give their final ratings.
I'm not good with change.
Change is hard.
Yeah. And I can imagine it's been a whole week. So,
Yeah,
of course,
that's true.
we may have forgotten.
Yeah. I've been agonizing for 10 minutes
Yeah.
while we had a break between episodes.
Oh, man. Well, let's get into it. Let's talk about this game. This game is very story-based, as it's in a storybook. And it goes chapter by chapter. So I'm just going to read a brief description of what happens in each chapter, and then we'll discuss it, and then we'll move on. So, Chapter 1, some serious beeswax. In this chapter, we're introduced to Jot, the defender of Mojo. You're sent off on your first mission in the game by Moonbeard, a DJ wizard who asks you to retrieve some wax for him so he can press more records. But there's a darkness on the horizon, and it's coming from Tome Tower.
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay,
Dun.
Moonbeard is legit.
Yeah.
Yeah, Moonbeard's boss.
His whole house is like shaking like crazy because of his music.
Mm-hmm.
His
Yeah.
club music hits hard.
Yeah. And he's just like making potions, hanging out with the shades, just living his best life.
The shades are the best. I think
Yeah.
we said that in our last episode, but yeah.
They really are.
Yeah. But there's not a lot that happens in this intro other than
No.
you get introduced to your first mini game. And I talked about this in our last week's episode, but it's like a boxing mini game with Jot. So you're fighting this honey badger because you have to get this honey badger away to get the honey. And
It's
know?
like Mike Tyson's Punch Out style.
Yeah.
Like almost
Oh.
exactly like that.
Yeah, you can like lean to the left or right or like jab or like take a swing.
Yeah, do a hook.
A hook. Yeah,
Mhm. Yeah. And it's pretty simple. I mean, it tells you which way to dodge. You have plenty of time to dodge. And then you can just punch. Very easy. And I've complained about it already, but I wish that there would have been more progression because the next time you play this mini game, it feels like all of a sudden it's just like, it's like psyching you out. It'll be like, dodge this way. No, this way. No, this way.
Yeah.
And then I'm
Uh-huh.
like, oh my, this is not even, I wasn't prepared at all.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I remember this. Oh God, he's punching me.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, not to get completely ahead of ourselves, but yeah, that was just
Yeah, this caught me off guard, this like first mini game, because
Mhm.
you're really doing like some basic like 2D adventuring until then. It's just really short. And then all of a sudden Jot is muscled as
Buff.
hell. Yeah, he's swole.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
got like double sleeve ink tattoos. Like
Yeah.
he's just like ready to go.
yeah,
It's really funny.
yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, and this is where you first kind of see it gets really dark. Like the sky gets really dark, and then basically this chapter's over because these first few chapters are really short, just kind of as tutorials or
Yeah.
introductions to the game. And then yeah, you kind of go meet again with Moonbeard to see what's up, and that leads you into chapter 2, which is Tome Tower. In this chapter, Jot, Violet, and Thrash trek through the forest to investigate Tome Tower and make sure that creepy little twerp Humgrump doesn't cause any more bother. And we have not introduced these other two characters, Violet and Thrash. We
Yeah.
meet Violet first.
We do. Yeah, Violet is the wizard of the group, and she is she has a paintbrush as a wand. She's very like tie-dye purple color with a very traditional wizard hat.
Yeah, she's like an art wizard, which is pretty unique.
Yeah, for sure.
I thought that was cute.
Yeah.
She's got her little paintbrush. And then we meet Thrash. He comes in a little bit later. We've kind of done a good amount of adventuring with Violet. I think we're about halfway to Tome Tower when we almost fall off a cliff. And Thrash, cool guy Thrash shows
Yeah,
up.
he is a cool guy.
Yeah.
He's like a metal rocker, like mountain troll
Yeah.
kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's pretty cool. He looks like he dresses like he lives in the mountains, and he likes rock and roll. He's always doing the bull hands. What is that called?
Bullhorns?
The bull horns?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I made that up. I have no idea.
No, I mean,
He's
people
always-
know what we're talking about. If you don't know what the bull
The
horns
rock
are,
on hands.
yeah. If
Yeah.
you don't know what that is, then you're not rock and roll enough.
That's true.
Maybe,
Yeah.
or maybe it's me.
I feel like if we were that we could be the characters. I'm Violet, you're Thrash, and you're Jot.
Oh,
I like that.
Yeah,
That's cool.
that is cool.
Except I
Man.
didn't love Violet, so I don't want to be.
Oh, I thought
Oh.
I
Remember
think
Violet?
I just liked Thrash so much.
you can be Thrash.
No, I don't.
Dude.
No. I think that I'm
no.
I think that I am more of a Violet.
Okay.
Little art wizard.
I'm not that arty, but I thought Violet was really neat because I just thought that was really unique. You know, like for some reason, like a rock and roll troll kid
Mm-hmm.
wasn't that unique to me. Although I guess
I
it kind of
loved
is
it.
when I think about it.
Yeah.
But I thought the art wizard was really neat.
I liked her I guess the character of her, because at first she's like, oh, I'm not very good. Like, she's very humble about how good she is with her art magic.
Yeah.
And then by the end, she's like, yeah, I'm like pretty good. So
Yeah.
that was cool.
I guess I just wish we got more of her. She's not in a lot of the game.
Yeah, there's a whole big chunk later on where she is away doing stuff and you're just hanging out with Thrash.
Yeah.
But also, these characters that follow you around, they don't really do anything for almost the whole game. They just follow you and talk to you sometimes.
Yeah, they're like, okay, Jot, you got it. And then, we're going to hang out back here. Like,
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, it's hard for me to say, like, I wish this game had more mechanics because I kind of just wish the mechanics that they did have were deeper. But I almost felt like you were going to, like, have a thing where you could switch characters. Like, oh, you need to be Thrash to, like, do this thing, or something like that.
That would have been
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think that for me, it felt like a shift in the storybook narrative because in the beginning, it's like Jot is the hero and they're just like his friends. And when they realize that they can make changes in this book, obviously they're trying to make sure Humgrump doesn't take over the book. But you start to realize these minor characters are growing and kind of becoming more of main characters throughout. So I think, but it doesn't happen until the very, very end that they start actually taking action. Again, I wish there was more progression rather than all or nothing.
Yeah, like, do you feel like that was maybe an intentional thing for them to do?
I wanted it to be intentional. I don't know if it actually was.
That's kind of how I feel. Like,
I'm maybe giving it a generous read.
Yeah, I feel like too much credit. Maybe
Yeah.
I'm just being harsh right now. Harsh in the mellow or whatever.
You're
But
being a real Humgrump.
yeah, but I just, with the general of the writing in this game, just didn't really do it for me. So
Yeah, that's okay. But yeah, I just wish there was more Violet because she does. She ditches out.
Yeah.
But that's okay. But the rest of this kind of kicks off the game where you run into Humgrump in Tome Tower. He's doing some sort of like crazy magic and
green magic, even.
yeah,
Yeah.
your favorite color magic.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
It's more powerful. That's why.
Yeah,
True
and
fact.
he kicks you out of the book.
Yeah, he just like throws you out and then you're trying to figure out what you're going to do next. And that's the first time that you experience the out of the book world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's a pretty cool like idea because he's like, well, if we live in a book and you're the hero and I always get beat up, like, get out of the book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be the hero now. Like, I kind of dig that
Mm-hmm.
that angle for a bad guy to have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He almost got away with it too.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
That brings us to chapter 3 after we get back into the book with the help of Paige. I believe it's Paige,
The
little
bookworm?
bookworm.
Yeah.
Paige the bookworm.
Mhm.
They show up on a little sticky note every now and again out in the 3D world. They help us get back into the book, and then we go to chapter 3, which is titled Moonbeard. In this short chapter, Moonbeard gives you a few lessons on controlling the book and interacting inside and outside of the story world. This chapter was so short.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a tutorial, kind of learning how to enter and exit the book, how to turn pages. Was there battle, like fighting mechanics where you learn? I can't remember.
I don't know.
I don't think there was. I really think, it was just along the book, just turning pages and that kind of thing. I don't even think you got into the tilting aspect until later. So
No, because we didn't have the gloves. You get like the tilt gauntlets.
Is it tilt gauntlets or just tilt gloves? I don't know.
I typed it.
Oh,
Sorry. I don't know why I said I typed it.
then please
I-
read your typing.
Yes, the tilt gauntlets. But that doesn't mean that that's right. I may have just made it up. Who knows?
You typed it. It's gospel.
Yeah. And then we get to chapter 4, A Treacherous Trail. In this chapter, the trio takes a shortcut through the Sonnet Swamps on their way to meet with Moonbeard and the Queen in Artia. But a detour must be taken when Jot finds he needs a ranged weapon to move forward.
Yeah, so you have to get a ranged weapon. So you have to go outside of the book to get this weapon, and it's off like a Magic the Gathering card.
Yeah.
So you have to like climb to the very top and then talk to, I forget the card's name.
The Elwyn or whatever.
Yeah.
Something like that. She was
Yeah.
an elf archer.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and you had to fight her in the card, and then she graced you with the bow, and then you go back and you fight these bugs with your bow, but you're like shredded, like you transform again into shredded Jot.
Oh yeah.
With tattoos, and then you shoot.
Oh yeah,
these
I forgot
bugs.
about that mini game. That was pretty fun.
That was pretty fun. Yeah. So you shoot all these bugs with this bow and take them down.
Yeah.
I thought that was such a cool idea. Like, leave your book, go into a trading card, get a thing, go back in your book.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like,
Just the concept of it all and the way that they did it is just so good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I was sad I didn't get to keep the bow though. When
yeah.
she took it back, I was like,
Yeah.
damn it.
I mean,
know.
she needs it.
That's true.
She
I don't know
does
how
need
she
it.
got it back though. Honestly,
Magic, bro.
Okay.
Green magic.
Green magic.
Strong.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. I did think that like you have to do like a little RPG battle to fight her for the bow.
Mhm.
That was so stupid.
It didn't seem
well,
because you got healed.
yeah. It's like the
Yeah,
first part
Paige
was
came
like
in.
impossible, and then you get like healed and boosted. But I'm like, why couldn't you just made it a game where you could win?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of
Pointless.
forgot about that.
Just
Whoa.
to show
Pointless.
to show how powerful she was, how powerful the bow was.
Rylan doesn't like to have his time wasted.
I wasn't even gonna say that, but that's what I was just thinking. It was wasted time. I guess I did say pointless.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's true.
Yeah.
I'm a busy man.
I
Got
know.
stuff to do.
I'm not a busy man.
That's fair.
Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
all right, valid point.
I'm a lazy lady.
Hey, I didn't say I wasn't lazy. Don't put that on me.
Well, what's the opposite of busy?
Not busy, unoccupied.
Send us an email.
Yeah.
Yeah.
email us at-
Let me be your gg@gmail.com.
What's the opposite of busy?
Mm-hmm.
Again, I've got
Bored?
We've bored. Busy.
Free?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's a mystery.
Yeah.
Yeah, send us an email. Let us know.
Yeah, we'll get back to you in our next episode.
Yeah.
I'm trying to the desk itself when you're out, it's daytime. Because this is another thing. Every time you leave the book, you never know if it's going to be day or nighttime.
Yeah.
But I don't think there was like a specific theme with the desk at this point.
I don't think so either.
There's a lot of knickknacks. It was a lot of
Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't think there was for this one. It was all about getting it. You had to climb a lot. There was a lot of platforming and that kind of thing to get, because it's on top of like is it like a stack of books that are
was
open
this
or
one?
something?
Yeah.
Was this one kind of vaguely like castle-y themed? Maybe, or was that later?
That was later.
I
Because you open the drawbridge. That's the dinosaur one. It has
No,
like
that's
the big
different.
castle. Oh.
Isn't it?
Well, because you take the
Oh, you're
the
right.
the amber, like the dinosaur
Yeah.
amber to open
Uh-huh.
those gates.
Yeah.
But there could have been other castle themes.
I think, well, I remember like, gosh, what are those things called? Those like little triangles on a string that you hang like a banner?
a kite?
Nope.
No.
Just like where there's several of them. This is so unusual. I'm so sorry.
Like a
Okay.
is it like, are you talking about like something
Help.
like it says happy birthday on it?
Yeah.
Each letter is on
Like a
little-
banner?
Yeah, like a banner.
Okay.
But you know, like made up of little triangles. There's
Oh.
a part where you like zip line down that, and
Oh,
so
yeah.
you see like Jot go like across one because he can travel like through the art of it.
Yeah.
I
think-
just thought that part was really cool.
That part was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was just through, I think it was like stars. And so through the stars, you would see Jot go down, 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 down.
Yeah.
Mm, Yeah.
That was cool.
very cool.
Glad I got there in the end.
Yeah.
We did it.
Teamwork.
Yeah.
Jam.
Yeah.
Sorry. Chapter 5, Artia. In this chapter, the trio arrives in Artia, Violet's home. The trio is tasked with wrangling a collection of pigs, one of which may be too big for moving by hand.
Dun, dun, dun.
I honestly had forgotten about the pigs, but this I thought was funny.
Yeah. So you have to go and collect a bunch of pigs for this guy, and one of them's super big, but you got to roll him into the mud pit. And so you have to tilt the book. This is where you learn how to tilt the pages.
Yeah, you get the tilt gauntlet. You
Yeah.
leave the book again. You have to get the little spot to leave the book. You have to convince this dog to move, and then you have to go find his owner. And his owner's like, "Well, just go tell him it's nap time."
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
That was so funny.
Artia was so cool because
Yeah.
it was like an art town, And there were so many like artist tropes. Like all the characters were like knockoffs of other artists like Andy Warhol. And like the dog kept saying, "I'm not a dog." Like that's just what he said when you go up to him, because he's I don't remember what the character's name, but he's like Magritte's dog, the guy who's like, "This is not a pipe," you know? Ceci n'est pas un pipe,
yeah.
une pipe. So I just thought that was really funny when I
didn't catch
realized that. There were like almost everybody in that town was little inside jokes about that.
Yeah.
The things they said, like there was a girl named Lisa, I think.
Oh, yeah,
or
and it was
Mona,
like
and she was like
Mona.
Mona Lisa,
Mhm.
and she was like, "Nobody can tell if I'm smiling or not," or something like that. It
Yeah, I liked this spot.
was a fun town to talk to people in.
Yeah, it was kind of not a time waster spot, but like a, I don't know. You were doing a lot, but you were doing nothing at the same time,
Yeah.
which can be fun.
I mean, I think in the story you were kind of killing time because you couldn't meet the queen yet. She wasn't ready to meet with you.
Yeah.
If you try to go up towards the castle, the guard was like, "No, the queen's not ready." So you just got to fart around in town.
Oh, I didn't do that.
Yeah. I kind of enjoyed this part because you got a lot of freedom here once you actually got into town and like talked to your uncle.
Yeah.
So you can go around and talk to, there's a lot of people to talk to and little things to do in town, which I appreciated.
Well, and then once you talk to the queen, she kind of gives you, or you guys talk about Humgrump, and she's kind of tasking you with investigating, and she tells you that he's been on Thrash's hometown.
Trog Mountain.
Yeah, that one. Trog Mountain. I don't know why I keep saying Thrag,
Well,
but
you,
Trog.
well, you're talking with her and you like see the mountain, like a bunch of smoke coming from it in
Yeah.
the distance. And so, yeah, like Moonbeard is like, "Violet, I need you to work with me on a spell and potions to like counter Humgrump's magic. And you two, Jaw and Thrash, go check out the mountain." And so
Yeah, this is where we
head
lose
that
Violet.
direction.
Yep.
Yeah, for quite a while.
Yeah, quite a while.
Well, I feel
Well,
like
one chapter, I guess, but
I
it's
don't
a
know.
long
This
one.
chapter was long.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
a
it
long
was the
one.
longest out of all of them, but maybe not. I don't know. Chapter 6, Very Metal. This has the best songs.
Yeah.
It has the coolest trees.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
The trees
The horn. What did we call it?
I don't know. The
The
rock
the bull horns.
Yeah.
Trees.
Trees
Yeah.
are shaped like that. You know what we haven't talked about at all are the little
Glitch birds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about those? Or one of you? I found maybe 2 and then I stopped looking for them.
Oh, I think I only found 3 in total.
Oh wow. I think I found 7, maybe 8. It's a little hard to tell on
wow.
the Steam Deck. It
Dang.
doesn't tell you properly how many you got. These were just little like weird orange looking bird things that were like hidden around. And I don't mean this with disrespect, but I'm surprised you guys didn't find more because I didn't think there was much that was very hidden in this game. Too much. But
Yeah.
so one of the things that you can, I guess you collect them and they kind of have like a little plot, like, "Oh, you found this guy, where he comes from. He's a famous pianist." And
Really?
yeah, that's one
Oh
of them.
no! I wish I would have found more.
Yeah, they had
Yeah.
like little descriptions of them and they're like, "Oh, you didn't know it, but this guy's a really big celebrity where he's from."
Oh, yeah.
Like and stuff like that. It's really funny. And they're just these little cute orange bird guys. You're like, "Oh,
my
we'll send them home."
gosh.
So one of the things that you can collect also in this game are the concept arts, which was really cool to look at. I don't know if you guys collected the one about the glitch birds.
I'm gonna be honest, I kind of stopped looking at the, like, I didn't, it would pop up and I would look at it, but I wouldn't open up the gallery and look at it closer.
Oh, see, for me,
Oh.
that was one of the things I really enjoyed about the game because they had a little description written about it. So like, you know, some of them were really basic, like, "Oh, this was an early concept of some environment that eventually became like the dino area or whatever." And some of them were just like enemies, but some of them had little tales. Like there's one at the beginning that you get about Pip, the mouse. And it shows like an early concept of Pip. And it says that at the like originally Pip in the story, Pip was going to betray the characters at the end.
Oh my god!
They're like-
why didn't that happen?
But then it's like, "But don't worry, this Pip is 100% good." Or is he?
Oh.
And so I'm like, at the end, I'm like, is Pip going to betray us?
oh my
Dang.
god!
So that was fun. But it talks about the glitch birds. So the origin of the glitch birds is a graphical glitch from the boxing mini game at the beginning.
Oh.
And so this concept art is actually just like a screenshot of the little glitch bird that like, I don't know, like pops up underneath the honey badger's like armpit or something when he's like getting punched.
Oh.
And so, and I guess all the glitch birds also look unique. They're all slightly different. But they saw the glitch. They just thought it looked like a cute little bird. So they put it in the game.
That's awesome.
That's
And
so funny.
It's like little stuff like that I really like was excited when I found a concept art, because some of them were just kind of boring or just like general, but some of them had little fun nuggets like that in there that I really appreciated. And I didn't find all the concept art, but I wish I had, because I just get a kick out of that stuff.
Yeah.
The glitch birds made me laugh because what was supposed to be their beak just looked like a mouth. Like they were like open like this, like
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
It looked like a little screaming like person to me, not like a bird at all. And I just every time I saw one, I thought it was really funny. It was hard for me to unsee.
Oh, this one just looks like it has a huge nose.
Yeah, I see that as a mouth.
Oh, like a big open mouth? That's funny.
Yeah, that's what I thought too, actually.
Yeah, and I actually didn't figure out how to get this glitch bird, so that's too bad. I assumed that we were going to come back here later.
Oh, is that by the castle?
Yeah, it's inside the castle.
I know how to get it.
Oh.
You go like...
You have to go like through a...
You go like back behind it, and there's a little spot that you can go in that doesn't look like you can, and then you come from behind.
Gotcha.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyways, we're at chapter 6, very metal. In this chapter, Jot and Thrash venture to Thrash's home, Targ Mountain, in an effort to investigate Humgrump's evil antics. But when the boys reach their destination, things are not as Thrash left them.
Yeah, so Humgrump goes to the mountain and starts messing everything up. And so when you first get there, you meet Thrash's uncle. I forget his name.
I wrote it down, but my notes are at home.
Sure. Yeah, I was trying to see if I wrote it down too.
I think he has a theme.
Oh, I totally missed notes on this part.
It's like Uncle Rumble or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. But you meet him, and he tells you that Humgrump's gone to the top, and that there's Krong.
Uncle Krong, yeah.
Yeah. And they're mining something on the top, and you have to get to the top of the mountain. So.
And he's like wrecked their town and like put all their people in cages, and he threw
like throwing people.
Yeah, like Uncle Krong is at the bottom of the mountain because he got tossed off and he dies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, and I can't remember if I think it's before this part you've realized that Humgrump has left the book and he's bringing in this like machinery from the kids from Sam's desk. So it's like this big box of machinery. It's like an erector set.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. Do you know what an erector set is?
No.
Let me look it up to make sure that I'm... Yeah, so it's like a metal... It looks like a metal erector set.
Yeah.
Yeah, and eventually you need to leave to get something that can fight the machinery.
Before we get too far away from Uncle Krong...
Sorry, I'm so sorry.
Oh, no, you're good. I just didn't want to forget this because I wrote it down, but I don't have my notes, but I remembered it. So I'm like, yeah, I did it.
Nice.
I'm good. Did you guys notice what happened when Uncle Krong died?
When he turned into a ghost? Or no, did he evaporate?
His body turned into a rock.
Oh, yeah.
And then his spirit like flew away to like rock and roll Valhalla or whatever he said.
Yeah.
I just thought that was cool lore that like these mountain trolls die and become rocks.
Mm-hmm.
Self-loss vibes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
I also like that they... like to remember someone who's passed, they all do the rock on sign and they like headbang.
Yeah.
And there's a little guitar solo that has like but you get the stop stamp.
Yes.
That's what you get when you leave. And when you leave, it's nighttime out in the 3D world and it's like space themed. And so this is when you get
you have to build the rocket.
Yeah, you have to help rebuild the rocket, and you meet this like tiny little baby rocket that wants to help you, but you need to build its dad first. And
and he's all pumped. He's like, "Oh man, let's test out my jet abilities." Like,
you'll
see how good I am. Like,
you take him out of his mug because he lives on a mug. He's art print on a mug. You take him out of there, and he's exploring other planets. As he said, he's excited to explore out in the wide space.
Yeah.
That might have been one of my other favorite characters was this little rocket.
Yeah, he was pretty
So
cute
cute.
and pretty fun. Like,
Yeah.
just
And
rocketing around everywhere.
the little mini game that you get inside when you're inside one of the cups, that you're having to go around the cup and like shoot the
Oh yeah,
the
that was
bad
fun.
things,
Yeah,
but then like get the humans, like save the humans out of these little pods and then bring them back to their ship. I think that was one of my favorite mini games. I had a lot of fun.
That was just so silly. Like you just, and there was the person at the little home base. And he says at the end, after you rescue all the scientists or whatever, he's like, this base is full of nerds.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was fun. But you get that stop stamp, which allows you to, basically you can stamp on the page and it helps you solve puzzles where you can stop things. So in this instance, it was something that was like spikes that are moving really fast, like metal teeth.
It creates like a wall, so you have to like stop the gears, so that way it'll stop the blade, and then you can walk across.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you get to like the boss fight, which I thought was actually kind of a fun one because you have to like fight waves of enemies and then like hit a button or tear off a lock or something to dismantle the giant machine.
Yeah.
But it progressively got more difficult. Like every lock you put off like added more things to dodge and like enemies and stuff. So that was kind of fun. And then you eventually like have to go outside of the book for part of the battle and Thrash is helping you out. Kind of skipped over his mini game.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
Oh, yeah.
We also get Thrash's mini game.
As he accepts himself as a mountain troll rocker.
I hate this mini game.
So the mini game is Thrash he always has his drumsticks with him. That's his weapon of choice. And he is getting shot projectiles at him.
They're like fruit or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Rocks
or like
something.
vases. I don't know.
Yeah.
Snakes at one point.
Snakes at one point, yeah, but you're trying to, it's like tennis almost at one point. Like you're trying to knock these things out of the way and you break them majority of the time. But then the bad guy or the machine will shoot like a nut or I think something else.
Yeah, well, you fight like the Mega Eagle. You fight an eagle
Uh-huh,
who
the
does
Mega
this. It
Eagle.
doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
No.
And then, you have to play essentially tennis with it, and then eventually it'll get hit if you're successful.
And it's a rhythm game, but because the mechanics didn't really do their best, even if you were on rhythm, you would miss it sometimes. It would glitch out and it would mess up, and it was very frustrating.
I don't know. I found that you could just spam the hit button and it's fine.
I tried that too, and it didn't work.
But I had more fun trying to do the rhythm part.
I had no fun at all.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, actually, I lied. So this time wasn't that bad.
That's the point too that the game missed.
Yeah. But it was, again, this mini game in the beginning, not that hard. And then at the very end, you're reintroduced to it, and it's like wild now. Like,
oh yeah,
it's psycho crazy.
I died once from it, and I was like, oh man.
You only died once?
I only died once.
I didn't die.
What? I played that mini game at the end, Thrash's end mini game, for maybe 20 to 30 minutes.
Wow.
Oh, dang.
I could not do it. I had to skip it. It was at this point where I was like, I have to skip this mini game. I don't know what it is.
Dang.
But I think that's the strength of the game, that you can skip it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, that's sweet. You're like, screw this.
Yeah, very much so.
Yep.
Because they kind of take different skills each game. So like if one is not vibing with you and that's not fun, who cares?
Skip that. So
Yeah, I think I was just getting frustrated because I felt like I did have it. Like I would get to the very point where I was about to kill the bird, and then it would just get off in some way where I would die again. I was just, oh my god.
Oh, weird. Yeah, I like.
Pissed me off.
I think I only got hit in the final one because I was testing out, like, can I just spam the button? And you almost completely can, but not quite. So I stopped doing that.
Hated it. Just kidding. It was fine. Didn't hate it. But,
shitty game's only a 4.8.
Yeah, I hate this game. But then once you beat the boss, after you have that boss battle, you learn, like, the machines start going away, and you see there's like a convoy going out to Boogie Beach.
Boogie Beach, yep.
And that brings us to chapter 7. Beach Battle Boogie.
Beach Battle Boogie.
Yeah.
with all the flamingos
Yeah.
that live on the beach.
In this chapter, Jot and Thrash follow the convoy of vehicles to Boogie Beach. With the help of Tumba, the team uncovers Humgrump's evil plan. And this is also the level that we get Violet back, but she doesn't even come back until about halfway through.
Yep.
I just wish that we could have had Tumba. That's Trooper. Trooper's Tumba.
It's true.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah, Tumba was I don't know. It's like there was a starfish that was stuck in the sand.
Yeah.
And we couldn't get him out, so they're like, "Oh, you need to go get Tumba, who's just like a rotund bird, maybe."
Yeah,
what was he?
I thought he was a rodent. Because
he
talks
I thought
at
it was a bird.
Oh, he talks at the end about how he has to
go feed the baby mice.
Yeah.
I didn't know what that meant. I thought that was so random.
Wow, maybe he was.
Tumba was very
maybe
mysterious.
he was a mole.
Because he dug so much. That makes sense. Yeah, he has a little plastic beach shovel, basically. And he just digs. That's his thing.
He has some dance moves though at the end.
Oh yeah.
When he leaves, he's like rolling on the floor, like doing all kinds of stuff. Like,
well, he's like, I'm not really a dancer, but I just feel like doing this really fast. Then he busts out, the sickest moves I've ever seen.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, pretty humble.
Oh man. Yeah, the best character in this whole game. So good.
He was cool.
Yeah.
For some reason, I kept writing his name down as Tumbo.
Oh yeah.
Also would have fit. I feel like he could be a Tumbo.
Oh, he could be a Tumbo.
I think at one point when you're introduced and the starfish ask you to go get him, I could have sworn they call him the round flamingo or the round bird.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder if I took that very seriously. I was like, oh, he's a bird. Now I'm realizing maybe they just call everything birds because there's a lot of birds around and he's not a bird, but he's round and I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah, for some reason I thought he was maybe a bird also, but he was just a very strange. He kind of reminded me of the people in Super Mario Sunshine.
Yeah.
Like those round characters, with the big noses or whatever.
I haven't played.
Oh, it's a good one.
I know.
It is a good one. Yeah, he kind of looks like a carrot. He just looks like a little carrot. He kind of just looks like a little carrot with his beach tool.
Oh, Tumba.
I do remember that during this part, in the funky land of Boogie Beach, when you're talking to the henchmen or the Humgrump men, they say things really weird, and when they find you, so you're like trying to help out Tumba and like get past the beach so you can get to the machines. You fight some of these guys and they yell out troublesome persons.
Oh yeah, that's what they call your group.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, and that comes back in the end.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even catch that, but yeah, once it turns into Humgrump's book, or troublesome persons.
Troublesome persons.
But you also get the bomb stamp in this level, and this is when you leave the book and it's still dark out, but it's like dinosaur themed, but there's also like a castle. And you get that bomb stamp so you can stamp bombs into the book.
Yeah, which is helpful.
I like the dinosaur theme. You do that little side-scrolling part with the primal axe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Which is, I don't know, that part was just so silly.
It was.
But it was fun.
I don't know why I had Samurai Jack vibes, but not Samurai Jack. I was thinking of what's that? It's like Samurai Jack, but it was about a dinosaur and like a caveman, and they became friends after the caveman like loses his wife and the dinosaur loses its baby. And
This doesn't sound anything like Samurai Jack.
I think it's done by the same people, is what I mean.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but there's no.
Man, I forgot about Samurai
Sorry,
Jack.
the only thing I can pull up right now is the Croods because my kids have been watching the Croods.
Hold on, let me see.
Dang, I'm going to watch Samurai Jack.
It's a good one. I haven't seen that one in a long time.
Shawn, do your kids know about Samurai Jack?
They do not know about Samurai Jack.
I bet they would like it.
I did try to introduce them to anime. I started off with Naruto, OG Naruto.
Oh, yeah.
The first or second episode, they show a person who got stabbed with a bunch of shurikens and is like bleeding all over, and they're like, nah. And I'm like, okay.
Oh man,
that's
I
fine.
used to be a big Naruto nerd. I know that guy's name. It's somewhere in my brain. I mean, Iruka takes the big hit.
Yeah.
But what's that guy's name with the M? I think his name starts with the white hair, the a-hole from the first episode.
I can only think of
It's not very important because he doesn't last beyond that episode. But
Oh.
Primal is what it's called.
yeah, I've never seen this.
It's really sad,
Oh.
but it's really good. There's no talking or anything like
Mhm.
that. It's just those two characters both lose someone in the very beginning, so they like start as enemies, but then I think this is so off topic. The caveman guy has just lost his wife, and then the dinosaur is like losing its baby, and so that guy who's been like kind of sad the whole time. I don't even know if this is right. It's been such a long time since I've seen it. Tragedy happens and they become like battle partners. Anyways, yeah, so you have this cool primal axe
Hacking
scene,
away.
hacking away, and maybe that's why it reminds me of Primal. You just said Primal, and I was like, "Oh, that show Primal."
Oh,
That's
sure.
silly. And there's a dinosaur in it. Yeah, so you're just chopping away, and then you have to run away from that one dinosaur.
Oh, the big one.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's fun. I like that
I
kind
like
of scene in games
chase
where you gotta be
scenes.
chased by the big monster.
Yeah, I like to be chased while also having to like fight other enemies and jump and like
Yeah.
obstacles where there's
Mhm.
actually you have skin in the game where you could mess up
Yeah.
and it will kill you.
Neva had that too.
A
Yeah,
little
that's
bit,
true.
yeah.
Yeah.
I could never tell if I was actually. I guess you would die
Mm-hmm.
if you got caught.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think about that first chase scene in Neva, where it's like everything was like you have to like it just looks like you're doing it so perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, there's no way you have to do it that perfectly, but
Yeah.
it felt cool to do. Anyways,
It did.
that's a different game.
Yeah, go listen
Episode-
to.
Yeah.
I think that was our 13th.
13th? Yeah, that's what I was
13th,
going to say,
yeah.
but I stopped myself.
Well, you're correct.
Ding.
Ding. But yeah, so Beach Boogie. I don't remember a lot of content from this, even though I literally played it yesterday.
I remember the trees were dancing.
Yeah, a lot of dancing trees. There's a lot of different types of puzzles that utilize the bomb stamp, but I think this probably was one of my least favorite areas for some reason, even though it had
Yeah.
my favorite character.
Yeah, it was kind of, I don't know. It was a little bit straightforward. Like you would go to a spot, you would use Tumba to dig something up, and then I would unlock the key to get to the next spot. That was pretty much it. I mean, you got to use your bomb stamp on some tanks, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, blow them up.
Blow them up. Yeah. So you got to utilize that. So that was pretty fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it wasn't super eventful.
Yeah, I think this was the world that I enjoyed the like 3D world like much more
Oh,
than
yeah.
the 2D,
Mm-hmm.
which I feel like for other worlds it was more even or slanted the other direction.
Yeah.
Well, when you reach the end of this, you find that Humgrump's just got this huge metal, I don't even know, factory, and he's making all these tanks, and he's going to go take over the castle, and you try to warn them that he's on his way, and then it brings us to chapter 8, Clash at the Castle. In this short chapter, the trio attempts to battle Humgrump, but in the scuffle, Moonbeard is defeated and the team is imprisoned as Humgrump takes over the book.
Yeah. So like you come into the castle and Humgrump and Moonbeard are like fighting it out. And Moonbeard's like, yeah, whatever, like no big deal, I'm boss. And then you realize that Humgrump and Moonbeard are brothers.
Yeah.
Dun dun dun.
Plot twist.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's like some fun dialogue where Moonbeard, he's like trying to go all older brother on him. He's like, you need to get out more.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Do some sport. Didn't you used to like ping pong?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I remember we used to play when we or we
Yeah.
used to play Ma or something like that. Like,
Yeah.
oh,
And
that was so
that made Humgrump mad because he's like, yeah, that was my thing for a while until you beat me once.
yeah.
And then I never wanted to do it again.
Yeah.
I
He's got
forgot about that.
Salty syndrome is what he's got.
Yeah, and then Moonbeard turns and Humgrump zaps him.
I was feeling very much Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship of the Ring, like the end with Gandalf.
Mm.
Oh, mhm.
Even though it's kind of different, I was just like, the wizard dies.
Yeah.
But does he?
Find out in 5 minutes as we get there.
Yeah, but this is such a short chapter. And you're basically imprisoned. And the book, it turns into Humgrump's book.
This
Yeah.
was really cool.
This was so
Yeah.
cool. And you guys have not played Doki Doki Literature Club, but it had the same type of thing where in Doki Doki Literature Club, you get to a point where the game starts over and you get to like the main menu and you start the game again, but it's different. And that's what they did with this game. It was so cool. They even changed the developer name
from all possible futures
to one possible future. Yeah. I just thought it was really
Everything
cool.
was all gray and grim.
Yeah. And then you have to start, you push play, like it's like you're starting the game over. And then you even have kind of like chapter 1 where they introduce Humgrump, and then you find out that the book's been shelved like way far out of the way. It's not on the table anymore.
Yeah, the kid is not interested anymore.
Not interested. And apparently this is leading the child down a dark path.
Yeah, that's what Paige tells you.
Yeah.
Well, and it's like I guess like the book gets its magic powers from the engagement with the kids, so when it gets shelved, the characters like will die and
freeze.
Yeah.
We forgot to mention a character from the last chapter though,
from the
that
dino.
we met. Yes.
Yeah.
I just glanced down at my notes. We meet Tim.
Time
Tim, yeah.
At that time, you just think it's a time traveler that's checking out the dinos, and then
yeah, like I thought he was part of the toy.
Oh
that
yeah,
you're playing on.
I thought this was well played. I didn't suspect that he would come back at all.
It was random.
Yeah, but we'll get to it. I just wanted to bring that up because we'll bring him up again at the end.
While we're just bringing things up, I see in my notes here, I think this is a concept art. I don't know why I have to pause every time to think of that, that you get during the dino area. But guys, we almost had a rap battle mini games in this game.
What?
Yeah. There's a concept art of, I think they have the character, not Jot, but Latch is the character's name for most of the development, I think. But they have him going against Lil Milky, who's a milk carton.
Lil Milky.
And I guess they were exploring with, we didn't even mention this. One of the cool things that you do in this game, sometimes for the puzzles, is like words are written on the story. And you have to like change the words to affect your platforming. So you might make a closed door an open door and things like that.
Yeah.
But I guess one of the things they were exploring with the wordplay mechanics was a rap battle mini game.
Wow.
That would have been sick.
That would have been
But instead, it's a 3.2.
Could have been a 5.
Yeah, if we got Lil Milky, shoot.
Dang. That's cool.
I did forget to mention that to everybody. The whole wordplay in the story. Like that's a huge part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it unfortunately it always was a little like watered down and never like that much of a challenge. But I think like the puzzles, like the abilities you had in the puzzle solving, like was very, very clever. I feel like they could have done a lot more with it.
Yeah.
But I don't think they were really wanting to like go too deep into the weeds with anything in particular.
Yeah.
Well, back to Clash at the Castle. Well, I guess we're kind of done with Clash at the Castle because the book is now Humgrump. It's dark, it's gloomy, and we wake up in chapter 9, the magnificent Humgrump. And in this chapter, Jot finds himself locked in Deep Doom prison. He must race to save his friends and stop Humgrump once and for all. I think this was my other favorite level. I really liked this one.
Yeah, it was good. So yeah, you break out of your prison cell and then you find Pip, who you have a mini game with where you're trying to sneak around from some sentries. And
this is an example of the mini game progressing
Yes.
in a way that it starts off easy and it gets harder and harder and harder. I wish they would have done that with all of the other mini games rather than sprinkling them in the beginning and then slapping you in the face with them at the end.
Yeah, because you do it 3 times with Pip. So you get a first run, which is pretty simple, and then by the end it gets difficult. So but yeah, he helps you get through the jail, and you help out Violet and Thrash. You get them broken out, and then you go and fight Humgrump.
I think this area was really cool because like everything's all gloomy now, right? But like it's meta gloomy too, where like before the narrator had like a nice voice and he was like agreeable with Jot and the crew and like telling them about, or not telling them, but like telling the story of what they're doing. But in Deep Doom prison, the narrator's like against them. And so he's like, oh, they're gonna get caught by these very competent guards. Like, there's no way they're gonna get away with this.
Yeah.
Calling them troublesome persons.
Yeah.
And also like when there's a laser beam they need to escape from, the narrator is like, doesn't that laser beam look warm and inviting?
Yeah.
like almost to convince them to go for it, you know?
Well, and we had talked about this a little bit and then stopped talking about it because it seemed like good podcast content. But you had asked me, Rylan, if like who I thought the narrator was, and I thought this probably is a good time to discuss because I thought that the narrator was the main character of the book. So in the beginning, I thought it was Jot. Well, and I didn't get this until the end when it becomes Humgrump, because at the very, very end, the narrator addresses you like Humgrump is talking to you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so that made me, and I don't know if this is actually true or not, but it made me think, oh, this entire time in the beginning, it's Jot because he's the main character. He's narrating the story. And even in the beginning, they do say that Jot likes to write his adventures down and share them with the kingdom. And then when Humgrump becomes the narrator, it's still the same voice, but the words are different. So that was my interpretation of it. But did you guys see it any other way?
I think there was something in like, so what you said, like Humgrump definitely is the narrator. You learn because it's the same voice. And as you get closer to the end, like you realize that he's talking in first person and etc. But then kind of, I guess we kind of have to move a little bit further in the story. So like you eventually get to him for the final showdown and Moonbeard is alive. He returns as Moonbeard the monochromatic.
Yes. Gandalf the White.
Yeah,
for sure.
And I guess there's like a Deus Ex Machina involving an ultra absorbent kitchen roll.
Yep.
Basically, which at first when he came back to life, I was like rolling my eyes hard. I'm like, this is so like stupid. Nobody ever gets to stay dead in these things. Like, oh no, we're stuck. We can't get out. Oh, suddenly a character comes back. But actually this was too funny that he like got caught on like a absorbent paper towel.
Yeah.
And then like was able to be healed by that because it's paper or something.
Well, it was like his ink evaporated off the page, but they got absorbed back into this other paper.
It's so stupid. But I love it. And then the Lord of the Rings reference was clutch. But anyways, so when Humgrump is like defeated, it goes back to the original narrator. And I feel like there's something that's said that makes me think that it's Moonbeard that's narrating. And so I see what you're saying by like the main character is narrating it, but like I thought of it like, oh, one of those brothers is narrating it and which brother is narrating it because they are siblings.
Oh.
So that's kind of interesting. And I'm like, dang it, I need to replay that last like 3 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
I put 0 brain cells towards this thought. So I will agree with both of you. Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, and before we get too far also, and I forget, we get a half-assed, like, I don't even know what to call it, like, villain origin story.
He was a poet.
He used to be a poet. It gave Hitler vibes of like a failed artist.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God. But yeah, you get, I think Violet asks like what the flag symbol is for, and you find out that
it's a
like a
butterfly.
butterfly because he wrote a poem about a butterfly and it failed, or I don't even know.
Yeah.
But then this like
butter flutter, butter flutter, flutter butter, flutter butter.
Yeah, something like that. But I wish that wouldn't have been so half-assed. I do wish that was maybe something that was uncovered throughout the progression of the story rather than just being like Violet asks about it and they're like, let's do a quick 5-minute like rewind and tell a quick story and then keep going.
Yeah, because honestly, like when he was battling with Moonbeard the first time, when you think Moonbeard dies, there's kind of his origin story there that he's just like a cranky kid who just always felt like he wanted to be the best but wasn't.
Yeah.
I feel like that was kind of enough for me, but
yeah,
I agree that was kind of shortened in, but it was very silly.
Yeah,
so I kind of appreciate it on that aspect.
Yeah.
Well, and it wouldn't have made sense. The very final boss battle wouldn't have made any sense if we didn't get that butterfly backstory.
I didn't connect that until you said that just now. I just thought that was some random shit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because, okay, can we talk about the final boss battle?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I think that's about all we have
Yeah,
left is
so-
the final boss battle. And then chapter 10 is a great inspiration, but really that's just the celebration.
Yeah,
at the
so
end.
the final boss is like a mini game gauntlet, like we've alluded to many times. So you go through and you do the, I think you do Thrash's mini game first, I think.
Yeah.
And it's tougher than it was by a lot. Then you do Violet's mini game, which is the bubble shooter. And then you do the punch out with Jot again.
Yeah.
And is there any more mini games?
No, after that.
So then after that, he's all beat up and feeling defeated, and Moonbeard is like, "You're done, kid."
And it's actually so creepy. This part is like kind of gross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he still has his magic staff that is letting him control like all the meta in and out of the book shit. So he like cocoons himself into a nasty gloop.
Glob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He metamorphosizes into, I guess, a butterfly abomination thing in the real world, but I thought it was more like a, I don't know.
I got mothy vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He always wanted to be a butterfly, but he is a moth.
He's a weird.
Yeah.
face
With
bug.
with a
Like
with a big
moths.
head of his head. Like it was weird.
It was gross. I mean,
Yeah.
it was
It
like
was gross.
nasty.
Yeah.
But this was kind of like lasts forever, where you get your
Rocket
you get your rocket back and you're flying around. You get the shades, those
and your
like,
laser gun.
yeah, and a laser gun.
I
And
definitely got Star Fox 64 vibes for
Oh,
sure. That's what I was feeling with the
wow,
floating
yeah.
and stuff. Yeah.
yeah. And it was just like a free for all. I just felt like I was just like shooting
Forever,
shooting,
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
shooting,
Dodge
shooting.
shoot, dodge shoot.
It
Yeah.
took so long.
There was 3
Mhm.
stages to the final boss. So like, yeah, you'd finish the first one. You're like, yeah, that's it. Oh, he's back. Okay. And then you shoot him again forever and ever and ever. And then eventually you get him. And then the third one, there was a shield component,
Yeah.
but that was
Yeah.
pretty much it. So
I think that ending was like way too long because it didn't really get harder.
No.
Maybe incrementally.
yeah,
I didn't find there to be any stakes at all.
There wasn't, a lot of challenge there. So when it was so long, I was like, why does this boss battle take 10 minutes?
Yeah.
yeah.
Maybe not 10 minutes, but like it felt like it.
It felt long.
I think it was around 10 minutes because the shield part, you had to wait for the shield to go back down. So you're like floating around for a minute until that
Yeah.
the
Well, didn't
certain rock
you-
comes out.
Oh yeah, the rock, the
Mhm.
tennis ball.
Tennis ball, yeah.
I think that if the mini games wouldn't have been a part of it, it would have been fine to be this long.
Mhm.
But this plus the mini games, I was just like, holy shit.
Yeah. Well, it was the epic final battle. So, I
Yeah.
mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I do appreciate the variety in the boss fight though.
Mhm.
I didn't really know what to expect as we approached the boss fight, but I think the minigame like gauntlet was kind of welcome.
Yeah, I thought it was a good change of pace, and it was fun to kind of like finish it out with those mini games. Like, I
Yeah.
thought that was fun. So,
Also to have like the teamwork element of like everybody in your team contributing.
yeah, it was really good. Yeah, once you beat him, then it's celebration time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Partying.
Partying. Yeah, you
Yeah.
saved Artia. So,
Well, and then this last little nugget that happens, there has been a cloaked figure that you keep seeing throughout the game. And at the very end, you find out that this cloaked figure is Time Tim.
he even
What?
helped you a little bit at the end.
Yeah. And this is the character from a series of books written by Sam, the kid from your bedroom. Who wouldn't have existed if you let Humgrump continue taking over the book, because that book was his inspiration of writing all of his books, and he talks about it. And so
Yeah. It was a cool way to kind of tie that in, and shocking, I guess, too. Like,
It was
just a little-
shocking. It
little
felt very
twist.
random, but it was kind of nice.
Yeah.
I liked it.
'Cause
I
it
thought it was
did-
cute.
There was like allusions throughout the game that like, oh, you're really inspirational for Sam. Like you got to do this to save your world, but also because you're inspirational to the other world too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There was also a nice quote somewhere in the game. Gosh, I don't know where, but I think it's like Violet or somebody is remarking on like, am I real if I'm just like in a story?
Oh, yeah.
And
I think she's talking to Moonbeard or
Yeah.
Thrash.
I think to Moonbeard.
Yeah.
And yeah, Moonbeard's like, you're just as real to you as though they are to them. you know, which is kind of nice. Like you're real.
Yeah. Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah, a 4.8.
Yeah, it was a nice game.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun overall. Yeah.
Well, this concludes our episode. But Rylan, what are we playing next?
We're playing Animal Well next.
Animal Well.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be good. I'm pretty stoked. It looks great. So.
We're going to be a little creature diving into a little environment with other weird creatures and trying to survive.
Yeah.
Getting little power-ups and exploring this dark place.
Yeah, if you're curious about like the new games that we're going to be playing, we are going to start streaming those on Twitch. So every other Thursday we'll be streaming those. So you'll kind of give a sneak peek of the new game that we're going to play. So
yeah, live trailer reactions.
Yeah.
So come join.
You can see the trailer reaction for Animal Well now on YouTube. Check it out.
Yeah.
Let Me Be Your GG, no spaces, on YouTube.
Yeah.
Please join us next week for our review of Animal Well, followed by its discussion episode the week after. Please go and give the podcast 5 stars. If you liked what you heard, you can rate us, you can review us, however you want to show us love. You can also email us comments, questions, or constructive criticism at letmebeyourgg@gmail.com. You can send us game requests. Just make sure you put game request in the subject line to make sure that we can find it. We can be found on socials as Let Me Be Your GG. That's LetMeBeyourGG with no spaces. That's on Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. And then you can find us on TikTok as Let Me Be Your Game Guide. Also, no spaces. You can find our Patreon at patreon.com/LetMeBeYourGG. Thank you so much for listening. We can't wait to see you next week. And thank you so much for letting me be your game guide. GG, y'all.
Mo Jam!
Oh my gosh.
I love it.
Up curled for this.
Jeez, we're just oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
Sorry. That's my water bottle. Apologies.
That's crazy.
Get that water bottle under control.